the Hedgehog is yet another video game adaptation that has been adapted from a video game to a big screen movie. This one stars Ben Schwartz, who plays the title role of Sonic. James Marster, I can't read. You guys know his damn name. He's in this movie too. And so is Jim Carrey. Jim Carrey plays the evil and psychotic Dr. Robotnik, you know, the egghead. I shouldn't really have to introduce you to the character of Sonic. You know who the hell Sonic is. Sonic is one of the most iconic and popular video game characters of all time. He's a small blue hedgehog who can run incredibly fast, move incredibly fast. He has super speed. He's been in a bunch of video games going all the way to back to like, what, 30 years ago or something? This movie, he is a hedgehog who gets transported from his home world to the Earth world, makes it to Earth, and then he grows up on Earth. But then one day, the rings that transported him here go missing. Now he has to team up with James Marster on kind of like a cross-country buddy cop trip to try to get his rings back. Meanwhile, they're being pursued by the government, and the government dispatches Dr. Robotnik to try to track Sonic down. And of course, he's Dr. Robotnik, so you know he's got some evil scheme cooking that involves world domination or something. Full disclosure, I am a Sonic fan, but I wouldn't say that I'm like a die-hard Sonic fan. Like, I'm a casual, I've played the games, I know about Sonic, I know about his world. I played the games just like anybody else growing up. They were fun to play. I mean, I played a lot of games growing up, so you could say I'm a fan of a bunch of different characters. As far as Sonic goes, I know that a lot of people are very emotionally attached to this character and how awesome he is and his powers, and other characters that are in his world and all of that, so I know that a lot of people were really looking forward to this movie. It's kind of hard to talk about this movie and not address the elephant in the room involving the redesign of Sonic, because yes, people, believe it or not, a few months ago there was a different design for Sonic and he would have looked very different in this movie. So you guys know the story. A few months ago there was a trailer that debuted Sonic, and Sonic looked a certain type of way. The internet, being level-headed and mature like they always are, they reacted to this as rationally as you could possibly think.
Oh my god, what the hell is that? How could they ruin Sonic? They've butchered him. They've ruined my childhood.
Burn it! Burn it all! Burn it with fire!
Yeah, don't try to act like most of y'all weren't bitching about that design for Sonic. I have the receipts. To be honest, I wasn't bitching because I was laughing, because the whole shit was just kind of funny to me. Honestly, bro, when I get on social media, that's what I do most of the time. I'm just joking around and I'm laughing at shit. Honestly, most of y'all are some funny ass motherfuckers, no lie. When you look at Sonic's design in this movie, where he looks like, you know, Sonic is supposed to look like, you think about that design and I have to transport him into this movie and be like, okay, so would that design have worked with this movie? No, I don't think it would have. Say all that to say that Sonic is actually a really fun time at the movies. I enjoyed myself. This is entertaining, and I think it's gonna please a lot of casuals and the diehard fans. Ben Schwartz is really, really good as Sonic. I love the voice work that he does here. Sonic is likable, Sonic is funny. There's a certain naivety to his character, even though he's lived on Earth and he knows about our culture and he knows about things. Like, there's so many pop culture references he has. There's still sort of an innocence to him. You kind of have to remember that Sonic, even though he can be a cocky little shit in some of his video games, he's still a kid. This movie definitely captured that fun brilliance that you would feel as a kid if you had superhuman speed. I also like the interplay and the back and forth between him and James Marster in this movie. James Marster is solid. He's pretty good. They have good chemistry. They have good back and forth. That's a dynamic that's worth watching. Show stealer for me, honestly, has to be Dr. Robotnik, played by Jim Carrey. I don't know what it is. I'm just a big fan of Jim Carrey, and I love it when he's allowed to let loose on a project like this. This is vintage Jim Carrey. He is in his 90s to early mid-2000s bag here. This is Jim Carrey unleashed, unhinged. Like, he is crazy, he is zany. The physical energy that he brings to all of his scenes, he's over the top in all of the best ways. If there's any type of style of comedy Jim Carrey can pull off perfectly, it's that over the top physical comedy. Like, that's what he's known for, that's what he made his name doing, and he's great at it in this movie. I loved him as Dr. Robotnik. The movie definitely has its fair share of fun CGI action sequences. Gotta praise the visual effects department. In particular, showing off his powers and showing the power display. Like, there are definitely some scenes in this movie that you feel like you want to see in that Solo Flash movie that's coming out. I gotta warn you, this is Wisconsin level cheese. Like, it gets really corny in this movie. It's a video game adaptation focusing on a super fast blue hedgehog, so of course you have to expect some level of cheese and corniness here. In terms of some of the dialogue and the way that people were talking and acting in this movie, like, definitely you'll feel like it is a live action cartoon, and if you're not a fan of Sonic, like if you don't even give a shit about Sonic at all, it might turn you off. It didn't really bother me, but I have to mention that in the review just in case it bothers you. This is a story where if you start looking too hard at things, you can nitpick it to death. There are some plot threads that are picked up in this movie and then dropped and are never really mentioned again, and definitely you could take your time to nitpick some things like that. Also, some really obnoxious product placement in this movie. Normally, I don't even really give a shit about product placement because I know that there's product placement in every movie. This movie, it was just so in your face. It was just, I don't know, there was just something a little bit off about it. Be like me reviewing Sonic the Hedgehog, and then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, hey guys, feel free to try honey-made graham crackers. Made with real honey. Matter of fact, You know what? These things are good. I'm going to try some. Pay attention to the references and the Easter eggs. There's even a big one that some people might not pick on, but when I saw it, I was just kind of like, ooh, are they teasing what I think they are? Sonic was a really fun, energetic time at the movies, and I'm going to put this one in the Silver Age for Man of Steel. Guys, tell me what your favorite video game movie of all time. Put that in the comment section down below. Please like and subscribe to the Superfan Show, and as always, if you like what you see, tell me how you feel, and stay tuned to hear more from the Man of Steel. Peace.